The IFT has always made its voice heard in government. A key victory for the union was the passage of the 1984 Collective Bargaining Bill.
Well, if one were to look at the law, you would see what we didn't have before the law. We did not have the right to strike. We did not have the right to represent employees. We did not have the right to a grievance. We did not have the right to carry a grievance to an arbitration. We did not have the right to speak on behalf of anyone as a labor union, which was something that industrial workers and building and construction workers had. We were fighting to have that for public employees. Teachers were thought of as second-class citizens. So were other public employees, and with the bill, we became first-class citizens for the first time in this state.
Legislation passed at the same time allowed collective bargaining for public employees who then sought out the IFT for representation.
We chose the IFT because we believe it was the best choice for us as state employees. It bargained the best contracts. It also trained leaders to serve the union very democratically.
You were on the fortunes of the office holder that brought you into employment. Now with a professional union behind us, the employees are protected.
The IFT also lobbied the General Assembly for improvements in education. More than 80% of the IFT's comprehensive reform package became part of the School Reform Act of 1985. As the 80s brought change to the workplace, the IFT stepped up its efforts to help its members develop professionally by establishing in 1988 the Union Leadership Institute.
The benefits here have just been enormous. Just learning how to read the budget, financial budget of the district, learning what the responsibilities of the different officers in your local, knowing how to negotiate. Those have been just beneficial to me, and I'm hoping that I can carry those skills and the knowledge that I have acquired to other members, and I really would like if we could get more members from my local to participate in the ULI.
In the 90s, under former IFT President Jackie Vaughn, the union expanded its efforts to improve the teaching profession with the founding of the IFT Professional Development Center and the CTU Quest Center.
Because we became a Quest school a few years ago, they take you under their wing and they tell you, they explain to you the law in terms of union issues. They explain academics to you wherever it falls along union issues. But it's like we constantly have someone at our side to help us through.
Hard work and dedication have paid off for the IFT, now 75,000 strong. The union's efforts to reach the membership are taking new forms, like the IFT homepage on the World Wide Web. Though times have changed, some battles are still being fought. Remember those Niles teachers the board tried to fire in 1976? They came back to the picket lines in 1996 to encourage young members who were on strike for the first time.
Yeah, that's a pretty trying time for the new teachers. I remember some of the earlier strikes and wondering what you were going to do to support the family and what happened if you got fired, or the time that you lost in wages and things. So we thought maybe some of the new teachers could just sort of listen to some of us, or sort of get our spirit, and we could help them, and they still help us with their exuberance and their teaching ability and all the things they do.
Being a young teacher, this is only my 4th year teaching, you sort of don't quite have that feeling. You know, you can listen to the older teachers talk about it and what it was like to be on the line and, you know, to fight for the things that they believed in and stand up for their cause. But then when you see some of the retirees come back, you're like, wow, this is, you know, you think how significant it is to your life, and, you know, how in a way this strike and, you know, being with these people has changed you in really significant and important ways. So it was just, it's hard to even explain the feeling, because it's kind of an intangible kind of thing when they came out here. But, you know, they were just so supportive, and you realize that how much it has meant to them, and that sort of spirit or feeling is sort of conveyed to you. Because, you know, walking on the line, you know, especially as a new teacher doing this for the first time as a young teacher, you don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of questions that are unanswered, and they sort of represent, or they symbolize, you know, the success of all of this. They symbolize all the great things that have come out of our strong union. And so they're sort of like the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, when you see them, you sort of have that vision of what things can be and what they are.
Graduate employees at the University of Illinois, the IFT's latest and largest organizing effort, continue their fight for representation by the Illinois Federation of Teachers.
The goals that the IFT espouses in Illinois were most closely aligned with our own. We liked that very much. They also were dedicated to helping us achieve recognition, you know, in our time period. A couple other aspects that really convinced us was we've had national contact with other AFT unions, graduate unions from University of Michigan, University of Madison, and they're very supportive. So we saw that on a national level, this is a good association. And IFT promised and has come through with great institutional support for GEO, and so we appreciate that immensely.
I think the IFT's great strength has always been its reliance upon the local people to make their own decisions and to be their own leaders, not to give them the pride and the challenge to be the people who made these decisions, the people who were carrying them out. And staff have always played a secondary role in the IFT. And I think that's what's made people have known that whatever's happened, it was because they decided, not because someone told them to do it.
I think the bottom line is still the same, and it never changes. An organization, a union, represents its members, and they have to be listened to, and we have to bargain for them and help them in bargaining, and we have to help them improve professionally. Now, if we can do the political thing, if we can help them locally to bargain and get better contracts, and if we can do the professional aspect and help them improve that way, we will have achieved perfection, which we may not get to for a few years, but who knows?
We need a union to have power, need a union to survive. We need a union to stand together, we need a union for a better life. Well, alone you got nothing, take whatever's coming. When we unite, we got the strength to fight. Need a union to have power, we need a union to survive. We need a union to stand together.